Hey there people, it's Grindfest once again and today I wanna talk about Valheim. I've seen a lot of people asking online if the game is playable and enjoyable as a solo player. Since I played the game solo from start to finish, I wanted to talk about my experience for the curious people out there. First off, rest easy about the bosses. None of them are unbeatable solo, in fact they are quite easy to manage for the most part if you are used to Souls-like combat. The difficulty of these fights usually depends on how prepared you are. If you have the gear and consumables to match the boss, you can take hits with ease and take them down with hit and run tactics with no trouble. I've uploaded all of the solo boss fights to my channel if you have trouble with any of them. The pressure of being solo actually makes its presence known more against non-boss creatures because even if you boost your stamina with food and fight with the rested buff, the stamina regeneration isn't very fast, so if you focus on attacking too much, you end up not being able to dodge, block or disengage, and the monsters can swarm you very quickly. Even if you kite properly, taking down multiple enemies can be rough, especially in the harder biomes. Sharing the aggro with a friend can be helpful when you need some time to regenerate stamina. On the other hand, all types of enemies get stronger as the number of players increase, so having friends does not necessarily mean that you're gonna have an easier time. Another difficulty of being solo is handling death. Your items drop if you die, and if you do not have a portal nearby, you might have to prepare new equipment, build a new ship even, and sail all the way to your corpse to possibly die again, repeating the process. As you can guess, dying a few times like this may lead to an uninstall, so you always have to be cautious and think ahead. There are also cases like getting ambushed by assholes called dead squitos while sailing, which usually leads to multiple corpse runs. I don't even want to get into how painful that was for me. What does this have to do with being solo, you might ask? Well, a friend could recover your belongings from your corpse or set up a portal nearby so you can come back. So, with the combat out of the way, let's move on to the grind. Honestly, the solo grind would not be all that bad if not for the boredom. Dragging a cart full of heavy metals down from the mountain peak or transporting stuff overseas gets old after a while. Dealing with the stuff Valheim throws at you is not very easy to manage when you are trying to mine and carry minerals all by yourself. On the other hand, as helping hands increase, so does the bodies that need consumables and gear, so it kind of evens out in the end. Constructing great buildings can be a bit painful for the solo player as well. While you can easily handle the mandatory stuff by yourself, gathering materials can take a ridiculous amount of time if you want to build something like a fort. Even if you enjoy doing this stuff yourself, I think finishing your great haul would feel better if you have had people to show it to. Exploration is also troublesome. Like I've said before, the stuff you need to grind for increases with the player count, but finding the boss layers doesn't really work that way. Killing a boss once is usually enough for the progression of the group. The boss layers are hidden on the minimap until you find an item that marks them, so having more people is very useful here. Especially the last boss took hours to find by myself, and I was just dying to find it so I could finally say that I have finished the game. I was probably a bit unlucky with the location, but still I feel like most bosses are harder to find than kill. Overall, I can say that the solo difficulty and grind is much better than most survival games, but the enjoyment you get out of the game by yourself is questionable at times. While I do not regret my time spent, after defeating the last boss, I can't even bring myself to launch the game because of the fatigue. After all this, I also feel the need to let you know that all of these troubles can go away if you use some cheats. Creation of materials, flight, immortality, there are all kinds of cheats and you can decide how much is fair by yourself. Maybe you wanna feel like a god, maybe you wanna play Valheim like you have enabled creative mode, or maybe you just wanna fly over to your corpse. Who am I to judge? Well, hope this video helps in your decision on buying the game. Maybe you'll enjoy the game even more than I did. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!